But yeah, doing the first episode, and I'm like watching this again. It's been a very long time since I've seen this show, and the theme song, well, it's fucking 90s at all hell. It is catchy. There is something about it that like all that electric guitar. It's like it works for you, and they have like all the scenes of action, fucking explosions going off, and showcasing the various villains. It ends on Venom going blah, and like Chuck going ah, all that shit. There's something about it. Like I don't think it's as good as something like Batman's theme song or something, or even as good as Spectacular Spider-Man's theme song. But there is something about it that works for the show itself. It's perfect for its era, chat. But here we are, chat. We're introduced to Spider-Man, and he's just looking down at New York City, and he's just thinking to himself, he has that internal, this is the show, like, unlike Batman animated series, when Batman, we never hear Batman think, they're all fucking about, we're hearing, like, Spider-Man think. We're constantly hearing his internal monologue the entire time. He's looking down at New York City, and he's like, I wish it was as peaceful down there as I'm looking down up here, chat, because it is not. There's a lot of nefarious things going on in the Big Apple right now, and we're going to see them. Well, so while he's swinging around, chat, and I was like, oh, it's not too bad up here. We cut down to the sewers. And we're just following these two repair guys. This one, he's a veteran. He's telling his buddies, you know what? You're going to love this job, man. You know, it's cool. Like down here, it's cool during the summers and it's warm during the winters. You know, and the best thing about it, you're not dealing with all that office politics nonsense. You know, it's going to be very relaxing. You just do your job, you go home to your wife and kids, you're going to do great. And the guy's like, yeah, I'm really excited about this, you know? I used to work in television, little meta-commentary chair. He's like, oh, yeah, what were you, an actor? He's like, no, I was a TV executive on a cartoon show. I was like, oh, my God, look at that. But, chap, while they're doing the repairs, they see something coming off in the distance. And they're like, what the fuck is that? It's the lizard, chat. It's the lizard. He's there. And they're like, ah! And they just start running, chat. They're running. All they see is his red eyes, his terrible red eyes. Again, a slight reference that Sam Raimi did in the first Spider-Man film when Aunt May's freaking out because the goblin's yellow eyes. And so they're fucking booking it, and the lizard, he's just chasing. He wants that man butt, Chad. He's obsessed with it. And these guys, they got on the goddamn sewer. They get in their truck. It's like, oh, fucking thank God. Like the TV executive guy, he gets in. He's driving. He gets in there. The other guy, the chubby one, he gets to the passenger side shit, but what's parked right next to what's right next to the car shit? A fucking sewer grate. And much like Pennywise reaching for good old Georgie, the lizard gets a handful of that sweet sewer man ass, and he drags him down to the sewer. He's like, help me, ask me about my ass. But he's dragged down, chat. And the TV executive guy's like, fuck this. And he just has PTSD at this point. He's just fucking driving, and all he can see is those terrible red eyes, and he's fucking slamming into cars. He's running people over. They're fucking exploding on his windshield like the guy from RoboCop, chat. You know, everything's popping and going off. And Spider-Man's like fucking, never mind, peaceful looking down the city. This guy's tearing up, and he swings down. He's like, hey, stop the goddamn van. What the hell are you doing? The red eyes, Spider-Man. It's the red eyes. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Stop the car. Spider-Man grabs a hold of the wheel. You know, he's driving. The guy's trying to take control of the wheel. He manages to just like, all right, fuck it, go towards a pier. He's like, I'm gonna just come here. He grabs the guy out of the thing, and the fucking truck goes on over, chat. And he just sits him down. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? These red eyes? It's the red eyes. Didn't you see them? They're following me. They were following me. He's like, all right, buddy. As long as you tell the police this wasn't my fault, but take care of yourself. And then he goes ahead, chat, and he swings off. And it's like, okay, that guy, it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good for the citizens of New York. This guy just went through a fucking rampage, killed a whole bunch of people, and there might be a lizard man in the sewers, grabbed a big chunk of that man-ass, chat, and was dragged down. But now Chap here is like, he has a lot of thoughts going on, but he's going home to see his Aunt May. Or no, not to see his Aunt May, not yet. No, so he's reporting to the Bugle, chat, because here he's a photographer, he's also a college student, and he's got some pictures of Spider-Man. And Robbie's like, Peter, these look fucking fantastic. Love them, but J. Jonah Jameson, he wants you to take some new pictures. And Peter's like, what does he want me to take? The lizard. Apparently there's a lizard man reaching for man-ass, and he really needs you to take pictures of that. And Peter's like, sure, I can get you those pictures, no problem. And here's the thing, Peter, it's $1,000 bonus if you get him. He's like, sold, I'll fucking do it. I'll find this lizard creature. And then JJ walks in, and he's like, I hope you do, Peter. But we already got a guy in the story right now. And who's behind him, chat? It's Eddie Brock. Very interesting take on Eddie Brock here, chat, in terms of, like, the look. Because, you know, Eddie Brock kind of has, like, he has that blonde hair. They went with red hair for some reason. I don't know. I don't know why. But he's walking in here and he's like, don't worry about it, Peter. Parker, as he calls him, just Parker. I'm covering the story right now, and I have all the reptile experts in the city. And the first guy I'm going to go and see and interview about this story, Dr. Curtis Connors. And Peter goes, oh, I know him. I work with him at the university. He's my professor. And JJ goes, Eddie Brock, you're off the goddamn story. And he's like, why? Because fucking Peter knows him. He knows him. And this is weird, though, Chad, because I think had I been JJ in this situation, I would have still kept Brock on the story because he actually has journalism experience. And Peter's just a photographer. And so I don't know why he would just, Peter, you're a journalist now. It's like, it's very weird. Again, you would still have Brock do the story. Maybe just have Peter introduce Brock to Dr. Connors and then continue on. But maybe JJ knows that Brock and Peter don't like each other, or Brock's an asshole to Peter. I don't know. I think JJ lets on more than he actually, then you figure. But he's like, Peter, the story's yours. Go ahead and talk to Dr. Kirk Connors. And Peter's like, fuck, I'll do that. Do I get a journalism's wage as well? He's like, the fuck you do? Of course not. $1,000, give me the pictures. And he's like, okay. And so Peter, he's going home. He's thinking about all the things. He's like, I can put a down payment on the car. I can actually get a car, or I can repair my motorcycle. I can be pizza time yet again. And then he goes in there, Chad, who we're introduced to? Fucking Aunt May. And Aunt May, always never trying to reveal her problems to Peter. She's heavily in debt because apparently Ben, he didn't take out any insurance on his life. They had shit life insurance, chat. He left Aunt May destitute. And all she's fucking doing all day is baking. And she spent all this money on bacon and no one's there to eat it. All the goddamn wheat cakes, chat. And not a single mouth to put them in. And so she's hiding all these bills, and, she's like, I'm going to go make you some wheat cakes, Peter. She goes to the kitchen, and Peter's like, I'm thinking of myself the entire time. But I see Aunt May. She was like a mother to me. She's raised me since I was a toddler. You know what? If I get this $1,000, I'm going to help May with these bills. That's the first thing I'm going to do, chat. But later that night, he goes to, the university, Empire State University. His school, and he's walking. He's like, I'm just going to go talk to Dr. Kirk Connors. I know he's working right now. We get a flashback sequence, chat, because he's like, he knows all about Dr. Kirk Connors, and because he works for him. And Dr. Kirk Connors, he's been working on this very specific formula that helps regrow limbs. And they tested on this little mouse creature, chat. They fucking took this reptile juice, and they used this DNA recombinator. They just irradiated this fucking mouse, and it's like, it grew its limb back. And Peter's like, that's amazing. And Dr. Kirk Connors goes, no. What's amazing, Peter, is that we're someday going to use this on humans. And for people that have lost limbs in accidents, people that have lost limbs in wars, they're going to be able to get their lives back on track. Be able to regrow limbs. And Dr. Kirk Connors wants this, too. It's a personal reason because he himself was a medic in the army at one time, Chen. He lost his arm. And so this is for him as much as the world. And so this is his life's work, chat. That's what he's all about. And so Peter, he's going to the university to talk to Dr. Kirk Connors because he's always working late at night on the DNA recombinator. And who's yelling at Peter from behind him? He turns around and it's the last person he wants to see. Deborah Whitman, chat. Deb Whitman. She's like the little sister I never wanted. And it's like, Jesus, Peter. Goddamn, listen, I know you don't like the girl, but the resentment's coming on thick. And she goes, hi, Peter. I didn't know you had a night class tonight. I was like, well, Deb, I'm here to talk to Dr. Connors about this thing I'm working on. She's like, well, I'll tag along with you. And they go up there, chat to his office, but they hear some wrestling going inside there. It's like, what the hell's making all that noise? And they open it, chat, and everything's been, looks like it's been destroyed. Bookshelves have tipped over. It's very dark. The fucking power on the light switch is not working. And they hear Dr. Kirk Connors' voice is like, don't come any closer. Don't come near me. And Dr. Connors, are you okay? And they go in there, chat, and what did they see? It's the fucking lizard. And he's got this thing that's been wrapped up in all these sheets. And Peter's like, that's Dr. Connors. He's kidnapping the lizard creature. The lizard man's kidnapping Dr. Connors. And him and the lizard start wrestling, chat. Actually, Deborah Whitman's the one that goes up and checks first. She's like, don't worry, Peter, I'm going to go see. And she gets scared. And the lizard, he fucking takes off. And, Peter's just about, he's like, fuck, I'm going to go after him. He's wearing the Spider-Man costume underneath his clothes. So he's just about to take off. But Deb's like, oh, Peter, you were so brave. And Peter's like, oh, yes, I was quite brave. And he's like, I got to track down that fucking lizard creature. And so, or at least I got to find out, what happened to Dr. Connors. I have to tell his wife and kids. They might not even know. I should be the first one to tell them. And so Deb, she does whatever she does. And then he goes out, chat, as Spider-Man. He goes to the residence of Dr. Connors. And meanwhile, chat, apparently Spider-Man is being followed by Brock. and he's staking out the Connors residence too. And so he goes there, and I guess in this world, Spider-Man is hated because as soon as Margaret Connors, the wife of Dr. Kirk Connors, she sees him, she's like, oh my God, Spider-Man, get out of here, get out of here. Like, she's freaking out about him. So she's like, Mrs. Connors, I'm just here to ask you about Dr. Connors. I believe he was kidnapped by a lizard man creature. He's always reaching for that thick human ass, and so we got to save Dr. Connors and his ass, okay? And like Billy's there, he's like, oh, I don't want you to hurt my dad. He's like, I'm not gonna hurt your dad, man. I'm gonna save your dad from the lizard. And then outside chat, we hear yelling, we hear screaming. And the lizard's there, and he's attacking Eddie Brock. He's about to get a big hunk of that Eddie Brock ass right now. But Spider-Man, he goes out there and stops him, chat. Him and the Riddler, they start fighting. They start wrestling, everything like that. But during this whole thing, Margaret, she's yelling at Spider-Man. She's like, don't hurt him, don't hurt him. She's like, I'm not, she's like, don't worry, I'm going to be fine. I got this. She's like, not you, Spider-Man. My husband. And there's the reveal, chat. The lizard didn't kidnap Dr. Kirk Connors. Dr. Kirk Connors is the lizard. Spider-Man goes, oh yeah, it makes sense. You fucking injected yourself with reptile juice and you used the DNA recombinator. That was a concern. And so there you go, chat. And then he starts talking and shit. And he's like, and then he fucking runs away, and the lizard runs away, and Spider-Man, he's like, shit, all right, listen, I'll go and catch him. I'm gonna go and catch him, but he notices Brock's running away too, because Brock is writing all this shit down. And Spider-Man notices that. He's like, fuck. So he goes after Eddie Brock, and he webs him up, and he's like, you can't web me up, Spider-Man. This is the story of the goddamn century. A fucking lizard man living in New York City is Dr. Kirk Connors. The people must know. And Spider-Man goes, shut the fuck up. The webbing should dissolve in about, 5 hours. You'll be good. Webs his mouth shut, chat. Good suffocate up there, but it's fine. And so Brock's up there. He goes back. He hears more screaming. And he knows that Margaret Connors, she's gone. He's like, Billy, what happened? And he's like, the lizard came back, and he stole my dad came back. My lizard dad came back, and he stole my mom. Spider-Man's like, fuck. All right, well, I got to go down there. I got to go ahead and go into the sewers. And so Spider-Man now goes in the fucking sewers, chat. More internal monologue is like, I don't want to have to hurt my friend, but I might have to because I got to save all these people. He's reaching for all their asses. We can't have that. And then, chat, he hears the growling of the lizard, and he goes down there. He's kind of perched on a thing. He's like, oh, where the fuck is he? And he hears someone go, help me, help me. And it's the sewer worker from earlier, chat. He was grabbed through the grate. And Spider-Man, he rips off the grate, and the guy is telling him, he's like, yeah, he grabbed me by my ass, and he's building something down there. And it's like, I haven't had any sleep or food in days, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And he put me in here, and Spider-Man's like, okay, don't worry about it. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go ahead and see what the lizard's doing. So he jumps down there, chat, and the lizard, he's just fucking talking now. He's just, blah, all that shit. And the thing that he had in the sheets, chat, it's the DNA recombinator. And he's monologuing. He's just monologuing. Margaret's like, listen, I'll help you, Kurt. I can help you. He's like, I don't need help. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn all of New York into lizard people. It's going to be great. We're going to live in the sewer. There's going to be shit and piss everywhere. It's going to be a wonderful society. I'm going to use this to be able to heal from any injury. We'll be like fucking gods. We'll become the dominant species of the planet. And we'll kill all those goddamn humans. We don't need them. Who needs those mud people, Margaret? And Spider-Man's going, fuck that. He goes down there, and him and the Riddler, they start wrestling, chat. Margaret, at one point, she gets the DNA recombinator. She's going to use it on Dr. Kirk Connors. So she's just like firing this thing up, She's looking like goddamn, what's her name, from Aliens. It looks like the rail gun. From Aliens, chat. She's trying to power this thing up. Lizard, he's fucking freaking out. He's fighting with Spider. He fucking hits his thick-ass tail against Margaret. She hits a fucking wall, cracks a bunch of bones and shit. And he's like, oh, God, Margaret, what have I done? And the recombinator falls in the water, chat. And then him and Spider-Man, they go both for the recombinator. Now they're just fighting underneath there. And the recombinator, it's charging up at this point. Margaret, she, despite her having half of her body, just broken, she hobbles over there and she's watching what they're doing. And this big old light goes off under the water, chat. And Spider-Man, he swims up and he's got something in his hand. And he lifts the thing up and it's Dr. Connors, chat. He's no longer the lizard. He's got the DNA recombinator. And he's like, it's over for now. And then, chat, we cut to daytime. And where we see Eddie Brock, Robbie Robinson, and J. Jonah Jameson. Eddie Brock, he's just fucking hyping up. Hey, listen. I have the story for the goddamn century. The person who's actually the lizard. And JJ's like, listen, fucking Parker, he already gave us the pictures. We already ran the issue today. We gave him the 1,000. Why do you care, bro? Come on. It's like, there's the fucking hobgoblin man and a scorpion man and all this shit. There's more stories. He's like, no, this is real. JJ, if I'm wrong, I'll eat today's issue. And he opens up the fucking door, chat, and who's staying out there? Fucking Dr. Connors. And Eddie Brock's like, oh, shit. Well, that's not good. And JJ looks at Eddie, he's like, do you want this fucking cooked or raw? And Brock goes, no, jeez. And then, chat, we cut to the Parker residence. And Peter Parker, he's giving this big stack of bills, big stack of Benjamins to Aunt May. She's like, oh, Peter, where'd you get all this money? And I was like, don't worry about it. And then she reads today's issue of the Daily Bugle, chat, and she sees, you got this money from taking pictures of this battle between Spider-Man and the Lizard. And then, again, Aunt May, not even fucking thanking Peter, for the money and all that. She's like, why would you do that? Why would you endanger yourself? You probably have old germs inside from the sewer system. All that shit and piss. Go upstairs and bathe. I'll bring you wheat cakes. And Peter goes, okay, Aunt May. I'm sure. And then we cut chat to Spider-Man in the city. He's swinging around for more Spider-rific adventures. And that is the first episode of Spider-Man, the animated series, the 1990s animated series. Shit. Hope you enjoyed it. Peter got that TikTok money. He should have invested in that. It would have been great. Spider-Man TikTok. Oh, that would be amazing. Hell yeah. Don't do drugs. Also, don't do drugs. Don't inject yourself with lizard juice or use a DNA recombinator. Not a great combination, chat. You turn to a lizard man who's just grabbing that man ass the entire time. You don't want that. I laughed when he attacked Eddie. He was kidnapped by a lizard man. Oh, yeah, she passed away. Didn't she pass away last year? Aunt May's original voice actress? Yes. Peter has that convenient human connection with all of his villains. All of his villains are like, at least actually a good amount of them were his friends, and they've done that in the movies. His first girlfriend's dad is the Vulture. His one of his mentors is a villain. It's crazy. I mean, fucking Tony Stark might as well be a villain. He creates enough of them, doesn't he? Yeah. Ooh, thank you, Gary Eakin. Thank you so much for the host and welcome to the stream, my friend. Always appreciate those. Yeah, the DNA recombinator is the origin for many of the villains in 9. And they're all animal themed, too. All animal themed. Yeah. But I hope you enjoyed the review, guys. I have 8 more coming. I have 8 more of these coming. And so I hope you like them.